Frank, did you want to use that one?
I did. It's on.
Can you get in a little tighter on, no, we need all that room there by Lori. Oh, you want Lori in? No, I don't want Lori in.
Oh, good.
Are you unmuted?
I would like to call to order the celebrated schools event for Tuesday, March 14th. Are there any speakers relative to closed session? Any speakers on Zoom? Okay, the board will be in closed session. We'll be back soon.
Let's go this way. Bond it off. This is all my separate.
Close the store.
No, I'll do it. I'm just bringing some lunch.
Looks like
You know, what did you got this man?
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, can't say what it feels like.
So you can.
You know what?
Can't really see it right now. Oh, yeah. But yeah, right. John.
The board will now report out this closed session relative to item 2.1. The board action in closed session is by unanimous vote to appoint Raquel Gosh as Director of K-12 Instruction effective July 1st. And now it's my pleasure to welcome everybody to our Celebrating Schools event, our second one for Tuesday, March 7th. Tonight is this, as I said, is the second where we'll be able to see all of the great things that our schools are doing. And please, as a reminder, please set your cell phones to silent, please. Thanks very much. And our first school will be the Dakota School for Independence and the Academy with Director Chavez.
Good evening, President Nishihira, members of the board, and Superintendent Thompson. My name is Dana Chavez, and I'm the Director of Educational Options. And I'm here tonight to highlight and celebrate all of the great things we're doing at the Dakota School for Independent Study and Personalized Learning Academy. So first we'll start with some highlights. So we experienced a 20% increase in our graduation rate between the class of 2021 and class of 2022. So we have a ways to go, and we are still continuing to realize that that's a work in progress. But the fact that we did get that increase, we're pretty proud of that and really wanted to highlight that tonight. Our current enrollment is at 355, and that's between both programs. And this was as of about 2 weeks ago. So we have increased since then, and we already have a wait list in both programs that has been building in the past few weeks. I think there's a lot of end of school year angst going on for a lot of our high schoolers. They're looking for a different place to end their school year. So one of the other things too is by way of our reorganization of the teaching and learning, specifically in the educational options division, we now have a much our coordination it's been improved in that we have an opportunity now to work very closely with all the different sites. So before it was really we were all working kind of separately, and now we have a pretty high level of coordination between all the programs in alternative ed, Conley, our adult school, and the DSIS and PLA. And then we collaborate regularly with Logan to really identify students early. So that's something that we've been focusing on pretty heavily this year. And also we've had an increase of engagement opportunities. We've had some very successful on-campus activities that we've opened up to all of our students and their families. And of course, we're not without challenges. One of the things that we're still kind of running up against is that we have a lot of students in our programs, typically on the high school side of things, sometimes in the middle, but often in our elementary too, is that we have students who are struggling to meet the terms of their master agreement. So part of our enrollment is a required master agreement. It's a contract that really says that when they're entering our program, they are going to adhere to have strong attendance, make forward progress. And our students are still struggling with attendance, and it's kind of a post-COVID thing we're thinking. But we are working very closely with our students, with our FSA, our families, increasing. My teachers hear me all the time about saying, contact the parent. And so we're really making that our focus this year. We know it's one of our challenges. Also, because many of our students work remotely, we are really trying to figure out how we can ensure that we are meeting the needs of our students' social and emotional needs. Because they're remote, so many of them, it's a matter of trying to find that balance. We don't want to go fishing for that information, but we also want to make sure students know that we are available and that we have resources. And just because they might be working remotely, that those needs aren't being overlooked. And also maintaining parent guardian engagement. We still struggle with trying to find parents to attend our monthly school site council, DLAC meetings, and we keep trying. And we do have one or two that definitely make that commitment, but it is something that we still want to make sure that we focus on and improve. So in line with the district goal number 2, equity, access, and achievement, so much of the work that we do in DSIS and PLA really aligns with the goal of goal number 2. So in our programs, whether they choose PLA or DSIS, our students receive the most individualized academic planning, goal setting. We have a counselor and a half who works very closely with our students. And then just thinking with our students and our teachers can really map out every single thing that a student needs. So if we're thinking high school, our teachers work closely with every student and ensure that they are meeting the goals, earning their credits, taking the classes that they require for graduation. So it's individualized. Students get exactly what they need in order to be successful, in whether it's middle school, elementary, or high school. Also, we've expanded some of our wellness resources. So we have, again, like I said, we have a counselor and a half who support our students. We have a dedicated curriculum leader this year who works on SEL lessons and pushes out lessons every week to all of our teachers, so that the expectation is that all of our teachers will work with the students K-12, and it's kind of an open-ended SEL lesson that is pushed out to all of our teachers. And once a week we call it Wellness Wednesday. Also, targeted academic support. One of the things that we've had in the past is we did have tutoring available, but from hearing from a lot of our students, parents, staff members, we weren't seeing an increase of that need. We were seeing a real decrease. Students weren't accessing tutoring on a regular basis. So what we did is we really took a look at the beginning of the school year and said, what kind of barriers are our students running into academically? So of course, math, science, and then because we have students who are learning a foreign language like Spanish independently, remotely, we also have a Spanish tutor that one of our PLA teachers who is trilingual, and she provides tutoring in our Spanish classes for any student who's enrolled in one of our Spanish classes, and she does those remotely. And then likewise, we have science and math. One of our PLA teachers who's credentialed in those areas provides online or remote support to those students as well. And that has been, so again, targeting, not just having an open-ended tutoring center that really students weren't accessing. And also, one of the things that we're pretty proud of and that we're going to continue to place a heavy focus on is that in educational options, we are working as a team to really remove any barriers that students might previously have been encountering, trying to get from one program to the next. So if I'm a student and or I'm a parent, I might say, why would I choose to take my student out of their in-person school and choose DSIS or PLA? So we like to think that we've got a few things that might attract students or any interested families who maybe still have some COVID wariness. We have students that will reach out, or families to reach out, that they're not feeling safe at a site for a variety of reasons. It could be that there is some sort of bullying that could be happening. Students that just feel like they're being swallowed up by some of the sites. So we obviously provide a very one-on-one small environment. It doesn't get much smaller than DSIS or PLA. So students often are getting one-to-one support from their teacher. There's never a line or any barrier to seeing a counselor. They're an email, a phone call, or a visit away. There's no appointment needed. So we're pretty proud of that as well. And we really tout that as some of the things that we promise to our students or our families when they are seeking information. Also, in our program, students can work at their own pace. So if we have an interest, or a student has an interest in working ahead, graduating early, they can accelerate, especially if they're in PLA, they can take up to 7 classes and they can accelerate their credit earning. If a student is on the kind of the other end of that and needs to remediate and get credits, We also have our program set up to allow students to do that so they can try to get themselves back on track and hopefully graduate on time. Also, again, safe students who might have some still from COVID variant. We also have students who are, we have a large number of students who are outside of New Haven and want that kind of experience that maybe their district doesn't offer, to have PLA offered or DSIS. So we, of course, provide something that some other districts surrounding us do not offer. Also, we hear a lot of students say what they like so much about it is that it's just a way of doing school differently. They're getting a lot of the same things, but in a very different, very kind of cutting edge format. And that appeals to a lot of our students. And also just a wide range. We have students who, we recently had a student who is from outside of, she's directly from a different country, doesn't speak any English. And we were able to provide a very creative plan for this student to be able to access our programs and hopefully earn a diploma in the next few years. So we have a student, we're pretty proud of our student here. She is, we don't see this too often, but she has been in DSIS for all 4 years of high school. So we selected her because we felt like she would be a really good ambassador to our program.
Liliana Lomeli. I've been here at Dakota School for Independent Studies for 4 years. I'm a senior now. What I really love about Independent Studies is that they really connect with you on a deeper level of what's going on, how can we help you, what is the best that we can help you, and they don't just teach you one way. If you don't understand something one way, they will probably teach you another and just keep trying. They don't just try and then later on give up. They are always on your side, especially with what we can do to help you improve on things, what we can do to help you graduate. Everything, they're always there for you, especially in the deep and dark moments. They're always there to be that bright sunny day. And I really love the support that I received here. I've also gained a lot of knowledge outside of school with jobs, opportunities. I've been connected on deeper levels with a lot of other people in the area of school, work, and just a lot of help. And I'm just grateful to be at Dakota School for Independent Studies.
Okay, so as you can tell, she's had just a wonderful experience, and she's very grateful for the fact that this was doing school differently, doing high school completely differently than her counterparts. And so we're pretty proud of her progress and the fact that she'll be walking on stage in May. And so we also have parents that really sing our praises. And so this parent actually reached out to us and heard we were doing this and said, I would like to be your spokesperson. So we'll see him next.
Hi, I'm Liliana.
Hello, my name is Justin Tate, and I have 2 daughters that are currently in the PLA program. They've actually been a part of PLA since the very beginning. And one of the things we love about PLA is the attention to detail of not having so many children that are in the classes. That allows for a little bit more individual attention to my 2 children that I have, in addition to the flexibility around the schedule. It allows for them to have some other activities while still having the learning aspect of being in a classroom with other children that we can interact with, as well as small groups as well that are tailored to their learning style. So we've really appreciated the program and all the wonderful teachers and the administration that have helped to make this a success for our family. We appreciate it.
So again, I've spoken about a few of these, but just to highlight again that we do have, we really reap the benefits of having a counselor and a half support our students and our staff. We have weekly SEL lessons that we've been embedding into our program, which is a new thing. And college and career readiness, again, that's kind of an area that we really want to continue to focus on for next year, because we're hearing students would like to ensure that we continue to offer them that opportunity. And so one of the things that we've done and had an increase of this year, like I mentioned, we're having more on-campus activities and opportunities for our families and our students. So there's just some highlights from some of our events that we've had this year. And also you have on the stage with you a gift from one of our succulent planting parties that we've had. And Trustee Rafe was at our most recent one. And So it's something that we've been pushing out to our families and they're really enjoying it. Every time we have an event, it seems to have like double the attendance from one to the next. So enjoy your gift. And this was highlights here. There's our picture together. And so again, because we have students and families that maybe aren't comfortable coming onto campus, we also have been offering an increase of virtual activities, things that you don't have to be on campus in order to engage with. So these are some of the things that we've been offering to our students on campus this year. Okay, well, with that, thank you.
So, all right, next will be celebration of schools with Cesar Chavez Middle School. So,
good evening, President Nishihira, members of the board, Superintendent Thompson. My name is Ramon Camacho. I'm the principal of Cesar Chavez Middle School. Mr. Rodriguez, our assistant principal, was supposed to be joining us today, but unfortunately, he did end up getting sick, so it's doing tonight. This evening, we're going to be highlighting our science department. And with that, it's also attached to goal number 1. So college, career, life readiness through teaching and learning. There's a number of different things that we are extremely proud of our science department for. It has been led by our department head, Carolyn Aguirre, for a number of years. From there, there's at least 2 teachers at each grade level. So collaboration on Wednesdays is extremely important, and they are our big advocates on campus for as many minimum days as possible so they can continue to get together, collaborate, and do the wonderful things they love to do. So it's not just about preparing labs, talking about instruction, what needs to be improved. They really do get along extremely well. And so with that, we see a number of different things that happen in that department than others. So with that said, the area of growth that is extremely important is making sure that science is fun and accessible for all students. So there are a number of different challenges that we see, especially when teaching the sciences, whether it be math or science. We have to find a number of different ways to engage our students. So that's one of the areas that they really excel in. So along with the number of fantastic things that we've been able to see over the last few years, so whether it be the Promethean panels, the Google updated Google Chromebooks, accessing websites, technology, whether it be Canvas, Google, the teachers are all over it. They really love being able to go ahead and utilize everything that we have. And fortunately, we've been able to work a lot with Scott Pisani to be able to make sure that we have these supplies on a year-to-year basis. So it's been fantastic to have all these things happening and for them to be able to access as many labs as possible. So with that said, in a few moments, we'll be seeing what the labs actually look like. But I did also want to spotlight that not only our labs project-based learning, but the teachers do a fantastic job of making sure that they present in a number of different ways so the students can access it. So whether it be through video, which you'll hear a lot about, using the technology that students have in their own pockets to make sure that they stay engaged, as well as making sure that they explain it in a number of ways as well too. And then the students, which you see shortly as well too, also get to do the same thing as well. So it's not always that we go ahead and take a test or do a lab notebook. There's many different ways for students to go ahead and show what they're learning. So what the students have to say outside.
About all the reasons why I love science at Cesar Chavez Middle School. uh, we learn a lot of things in science, and in Miss Strong's class, we do a lot of fun things that makes science inviting and really just fun. And then we learn everything that you have to know in science to get ready for 7th and 8th grade and even college. So, and high school and everything. And we do labs, and we did this swamp lab where a teacher from another, I think it's 7th grade, lended us pond water for us to look inside the microscope. And then my friend saw a worm, so it was very cool. We learned so much in class. The lab 17 is they really represent the topic, show what we want to do before she goes into actual school.
And which lab stands out for you?
I enjoyed the lab where we showed when we expanding and representing and when we read. I'm really honest, and what I like about 6th grade science is how this job really connects with the students. And how we also make how much homework and we do a lot of it in class, so that if we need help, we can always go and ask for students. And how she makes fun of things because some people don't like science. And she makes it fun and makes people enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Liliana, and the thing that I like about science is the learning and the activity projects that we get to do in science.
Which ones stand out for you?
I really like when we get to use our models of what it is exactly, because we get to feel around what it could be exactly. So
Hello, new James. Hi, I'm an artist. And here's what we love about science. So first thing is Bill Nye. Because Bill Nye is so cool. And we like Bill Nye. We like how Bill Nye teaches us new facts and gives us new experiments to work on at home. And Bill Nye also teaches anything about the science. Speaking of science, we didn't have that around. This one it's something that has been of our unit. It was really terrible. And like, yeah, I feel like learning about how like elementary figures and stuff, like how they get to interact with them. So we also like doing because like I like this in the course because I can see a bunch of kind of things. I love like experimenting with kind of on this and stuff. Like this one option where you could like look into a microscope and see like grains and different soil and stuff. And I was in France to find Seattle. It was so great. It was pretty. And I couldn't find anything. There was so what I found fun about this kind of place unit was especially the Oreo. It was great. And it was absolutely good. It was really fun. I also like learning about like fitting things and stuff, not like the Oreos. But like yeah, that was a really fun unit, just learning about how like Cali slides and forms everywhere, and like how like ocean and water is like it was really good. You're gonna Bill. Bill, yeah, we watched the Bill Nye video. Okay,
So like I mentioned before, a lot of the front loading that happens, trying to gain students' attention. So whether it be using videos to go ahead and just give students a preface. And obviously these aren't the only two students that love watching Bill and I videos. So it gives them a chance to go ahead and start thinking about what is it that they're about to go ahead and expand their learning with. And so with that said, there's different ways that we like to go ahead and work on this. So here's a little homage to the science department here as well too. While I was searching around through the internet for different backgrounds for science, we purchased composition books for all of our students for science, for language arts, and for math. And so the science department, they actually create interactive lessons and use their notebooks in a number of different ways. So when I mentioned earlier before about art, that's in there as well too. We have one of our students, Z, who's a 7th grader. The students earlier were talking about they got a rock at the end of their lesson from their teacher. Well, this student wanted to present in a different type of way. And so with that, this was a portion of her presentation, her Google presentation to her class. So it's Sedimentary Susie's Awesome Adventure. Some folks thought this was my work.
Bruh.
Like I said, definitely not my work, and I can't take any credit for that, but the students absolutely love having that presentation done by their classmates. So just taking technology and making fun of it as much as we can. So getting back to old school, tactile learning, getting your hands involved in something. Interactive notebooks have been part of Cesar Chavez for many years. So with that said, we also love to infuse art and personalization in these notebooks. So with that said, you see some samples here of students picking what they have and adding to it. So the teachers have a little bit of glue, some scissors, and then from there they're adding on to the notebooks. So it's not just something that you're writing in, you're taking notes and like, okay, hey, let me go next. It actually is living and personalized. So different things that are happening there. We heard from the students, they're learning chemistry. From there, they're also drawing their own images so that the words and the definitions make sense to them. With that said, a big thing that the science department really does a fantastic job of is making sure that students see themselves in science as well too, because that's not always the message. And so with that said, they make sure to go ahead and highlight things. In particular, they want students to see themselves and women as well too in science. So the question and the prompt here was, what do you think a scientist looks like? That's the first image. And then from there, how do you see yourself becoming a scientist? And so that's the image that you'll see on the left. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, Hillview Elementary Middle School and Nicole Chavez.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, President Shahara, members of the Hillview Board, Dr. Thompson. Thank you for giving us an opportunity tonight to come and kind of share a little bit about what's been going on over at IBC. So as we all kind of live and breathe are the New Haven Board goals. And so although all of these drive everything we're doing at IBC every day, for us this year, we really started to look at goal number 2. And where do we see ourselves with goal number 2? But even before we kind of jump into where we are with goal number 2 and equity, it says we did a lot this year. And I think coming to this point in the year, we started to think about all of the things that we've done and we've accomplished and kind of the various activities we've had going on. We've done a lot. We've welcomed in new staff in our core department, our SPED department, in administration, updating into Aries, one-on-one with the Chromebooks, Promethean boards in every classroom. And I think the most exciting thing about the Promethean boards is watching the students interact with them. It didn't take long for our students to very quickly learn how to use them better than our teachers. And so it's kind of an awesome thing to be able to see with the kids constantly up and interacting with them. And yet our teachers still, I mean, to a certain degree, learning from their students, which we don't always get that opportunity. We brought back Math Studio, which for those of you who've been in the district a while know that this was one of the ways that we were able to move our students further with math. And so we've gotten our math teachers to kind of jump on board. Culturally relevant monthly activities to celebrate our various communities, bringing back our math intervention program, student carnivals, our sports program is back in full effect. And as a district and as a site, we have a true focus on MTSS, Tier 1 and Tier 2 sports specifically, and really developing universal design learning into all of our lessons. But the 2022 school year started. Coming back last year, we realized our students are not the same and they come to us with different needs. I think last year was very reactionary to what was going on, whereas this year we wanted to take a more proactive approach to the various ways that we can support students. And so as excited as we were to see some of our kind of traditions come back, our outdoor carnival and our PBO night for 8th grade with colleges and filling up our entire gymnasium, as great as it is to have all of that stuff back, we realized our students do need more from us. And we had to kind of figure out last year, what is it that they need? And really where we landed was that we need to be able to meet those needs in ways that we didn't before. And really that came down to student engagement and student wellness. One thing we know is absolutely true at every level, but especially at the middle school, is what goes on outside the classroom is absolutely going to play a role in what happens in the classroom. And our students' experience inside and outside of the classroom are also going to control how far they're able to move and progress forward. If there's a stopgap in there, we need to be able to identify it, but also be able to provide them with support. And really that became MTSS in action. We were lucky enough to have a CHOSA this year, so thank you very much for agreeing to allow us those to have that. They took on a different role, and they really started to focus on what social emotional learning looks like within the classroom. And very, very quickly, we discovered that this work is actually allowing us to progress our students forward much faster because we're addressing a deficiency that, quite frankly, we know is a lovely gift of the pandemic, but also part of all the joys that come along with middle school and, you know, Santa delivering hormones at Christmas and things like that, that are just a major part of middle school. And so we needed to partner with our teachers. We recognized that there were things they didn't necessarily have the tools to do, but they realized there were skills their students needed, and we had to provide it in a different way. One of the ways that we did that was working with Dylan Francisco, who is our CHOSA and teacher on special assignment, to bring in that student social emotional wellness. And our counselors this year decided to go ahead and open up a wellness center. Very different from last year, but our counselors do staff it every period of the day. And one of our persons under alternative center is also in there one period a day to receive students. Miss Dillon this year began a true partnership with the teachers, and I think that was the most exciting thing to see. It wasn't so much about going and pulling their students out. It was much more about Miss Dillon coming in, identifying the needs of the students in the classroom, and then providing the teachers with various activities to tap into some of those deficiencies to help the students overcome them. We saw a lot at the very beginning of the year and last year. Students didn't want to participate. They didn't want to work with their classmates. There was this general nervousness and anxiety to present or to partner as a group, or honestly to even advocate for what their own needs were. And then we saw lovely gifts of things like inappropriate student language and kind of treatments of various members of our school community, which I think we can definitely attribute to social media. And so this year was the idea of we need to reverse that. We need to start to address those things and actually highlight them versus looking at them as if it's about them. And so Ms. Dillon got into the classrooms. This is a couple of pictures from her getting in with a science lesson where she is matching the content and the curriculum in the classroom, but highlighting the social emotional components of the lesson and encouraging the students to work together to get over those the kind of hump of where are you afraid? What are you afraid to share? Where does that nervousness come from? And then give them the tools that they need to be able to, share out something and take that risk to share an idea that they have. And she also was able to work with the teachers and partner with them on their lesson design, so there would be more areas for student engagement within the actual content itself. And I will say that Ms. Dillon, it was a bit of a challenge for her to come into the classroom, in that this is something very new for the teachers. It didn't take long for her to be in 1 or 2 classrooms, and news spread very quickly. Now her schedule is packed, and there's a waiting list for her to come in because of the partnership. Teachers enjoy having a partner, but somebody who's looking at things not just from the academic needs of our students, but also the social emotional. Through that work, we very quickly determined, and we realized that there was a lot of things that we were doing. We were using waypoints, we were using various software, creating activities, doing monthly surveys with students, trying to draw things out. But the challenge is when you're competing with the content, there's not always time. So what the teachers, speaking with the students, we realized that our minimum days can become our best days. And these days that were very short and quick, we tried to turn into, and we had a lot of success in February, and actually a lot of success last Friday as well, when we were able to do this for a second day, but we created a wellness day. And I'm not going to click on a link, but you can see that is actually the lesson plan from our February 7th day, our wellness day. And we created various lessons. So in each subject area, there was a different lesson covering various topics such as personal boundaries, the idea of consent, what code switching is and why that's important within our schools, how to interact with students and ways to build up that student interaction, and quite frankly, being close to Valentine's Day, how to send love and show appreciation. Sometimes we forget that it's just the small things that will make a huge difference. And whether that's with the teacher, whether with the student, or quite frankly, with a family member, I think sometimes our students need a reminder that these are just as important sometimes as the academic skills that we're working on. So I can give you a little bit of an idea of some of the activities that we did on Wednesday.
Our like personal space when I'm packed, when I'm asking, some people just don't get that. It's kind of like struggling, like, hey, I need
Right, something I give you.
So we did have our last wellness day on last Friday. We were able to do another one. And the best part, I think, about the second wellness day was it was based on feedback from the students. After we did this first wellness day, we did send them a short survey and we asked, what did you like? What did you not like? And what would you like to see more of? So what came out of our February day was actually building into our March day. And again, I feel like we had a lot of success and got an incredible amount of feedback from the students and the teachers, which is impressive for a minimum day. So The second piece of wellness at IDC started to also look a little bit different. We realized we have a lot of students dealing with depression and anxiety. We're unlike, and that's not unlike the rest of the schools across the country. This is a very common thing that you're seeing with students. So our counselors wanted to be responsive to that. And one of the challenges we had last year was students coming into our counseling center kind of disappearing for the entire day and we didn't have instruction. What we wanted to do was figure out a way to give the students what they need in the moment, but then be able to kind of provide support, but send them back to class to be able to continue on with the work that they're doing. Our counselors do staff our wellness center, Maria, Janelle, Mara, and Miss Ivy. It's open every period and open during both lunch periods every day. Students can self-select to go to the wellness center. They just need to ask the teacher for a pass, and the students are always allowed. They are there, they're received by counselor or Miss Ivy, and they get just kind of a quick check-in. How are you doing? What's going on? Possibly some time just to do some breathing, to take a step back. Maybe they're going to draw, they're going to color, even just talk about why they're feeling and what they're feeling in that moment, but also having that conversation about, okay, what do you need to be able to return back and focus on your academics. Students are also kind of, it's that quiet space to decompress. We realize our students doing as many years as they did online and coming back at the middle school level, I think was overwhelming. And one of the things we wanted to be able to address with our kids is it's okay to take a break. And it's okay if you need that break and then you want to go back to class, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to take them. We only have one counselor in the center at a time. So if the student needs to go kind of have a deeper dive with their counselor, there's also a counselor in there to receive them for more of that kind of intensive work. So for the in the wellness center at lunch, it is absolutely packed. And I think the thing that we are enjoying the most is our students we have seen sitting alone at lunch, connecting with other students, have a place to go. They are finding connection with other students by the commonality of the wellness center. And so what we've seen is the relationships that are built in the wellness center during lunch periods are now spreading into their classrooms. Teachers have shared with us, there's an increased number of participation, but also students being willing to form groups with each other, which is a huge kind of improvement from where we were last year. So I wanted to give you a little view, and you can hear from our counselors and a few other students who are some of our regulars in the wellness center.
The Wellness Center was a great opportunity to allow students to come in and learn different strategies for self-care and an opportunity for them to regroup and return to the classroom ready to learn.
It also provides a lot of tier 1 support for the students, increases our connection with the students. Our rapport has grown immensely. And again, they're ready to learn.
Okay, so the Wellness Center has helped me a lot this year because when I got in arguments with one of my best friends in May, this is where we come to talk it out. So I'd say it fixed a lot of our friendship, and it's really why we're close.
The Wellness Center has supported has helped me to calm me down whenever I just get so angry, depressed, or sad, or all that stuff. And also, I would like to thank Miss Long, Miss Valdez for supporting the other students for the Wellness Center.
But it helps me mostly to calm down. The Wellness Center has supported me this year by just fast and relax, never feeling stressed and a lot of stress. It's just a really nice place to go to just get a better feel of yourself.
Everybody got really friends. It's a good place to hang out, and that's sometimes I got talking to a lot of people. And counselors, they talk a lot of friends, and I'm going to brought them up to
Hi, my name is Lee, and I think the Wellness Center has helped me with if I'm sad, I will be able to go to the Wellness Center. All the other counselors help me through it.
And then like when I'm also angry at something or someone, they also help me calm down. So I think one is good sense.
So I think the biggest piece between Ms. Dillon and the work that she's doing directly inside the classroom and kind of what goes on in the wellness center has been a true partnership and trying to recognize that we want our students to understand that your feelings, your emotions, how all of those things affect you are completely valid, and how they're affecting you it's going to affect your schoolwork. But what we're realizing is we have to give them the tools to understand that emotion and then know how to process it and be able to kind of move forward, either get additional supports if they need it, or be able to kind of put it off to the side and get back to class and be able to focus, but at the same time feeling heard and that they feel validated, which we really see with our students, especially with the lovely gift of social media. That's been dramatically affected over these last couple of years. So trying to find some of those opportunities for our students. We've seen a huge increase in students, even just being able to stay out of class and the discipline start to lower a bit, which has been a definite bonus. On the 14th of February, we did bring in the Center for Respect, and we did some follow-up activities with our IBC leadership students. As I mentioned, we did another wellness day last week. We have also partnered with SAVE, which is an organization that will come in and actually do presentations for our 7th and 8th grade students that are happening in March and April. And the big push is taking our unit plans from this year with the recognition of the importance of tier 1 and tier 2 strategies, but also universal design learning. The more we have the kids up and moving and engaged within the classroom, the more they're going to understand the content. Part of that engagement we know has to do with their social emotional wellness. So we want to partner that social emotional wellness with their academic success. And we've started to really see where those benefits have come. But a big piece of our work moving forward is really going after our unit plans, even in the classroom, and embedding a lot of work, embedding a lot of the social emotional work directly in the unit plan. And so thank you for the opportunity for sharing.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to hear from Searles Elementary School. And
good evening, President Shahira, members of the board, Superintendent Thompson. My name is Britta Bocach, and I'm the principal at Searles Elementary School. It is my pleasure to stand before you this evening and highlight our work, focusing on Goal 1, college, career, and life readiness through teaching and learning. As a staff, collectively, we have many strengths to support our student achievement. One would say they are our superpowers. Our sites focus primarily on strengthening our understanding of our cycles of inquiry and building on last year's work with Universal Design for Learning. The Searles team powered up to work collaboratively, focusing on identifying barriers that pose challenges to student access and achievement within the curriculum. The Searles team powered up to work together to design learning experiences that would support students with those barriers. We work together in monitoring student achievement through common assessment. This also enables staff to talk about their teaching practice and support one another. In this slide, you will see two tools that we used, one for planning and one for assessing our work throughout the year. Our instructional leadership team powered up their roles as instructional leaders by using these tools in meeting and assessing our classroom visits. Our collaborative efforts have created learning powers within our Searles community, a place where dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. We can give a round of applause. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our first grade dual immersion classroom as a demonstration of a super learner quality of bilingualism. Senora Ramirez, Senora Felix, first grade two-way dual immersion classes, musical performance, Over the Rainbow. Muchísimas gracias. Now, it is my honor to introduce to you three of our student leadership students, Giovanni Williams, Mavis Jiang, and Tiffany Akbari, as a demonstration of a super learner quality of public speaking by reciting the poem, The Superhero in Me. The superhero in me. Today, I'm not ordinary, but an extraordinary being. Today, I'm a superhero in the sky, reaching amazing heights.
Today, I am strong when I feel weak and brave when I am scared. Today, I am better than I was yesterday. Today, I am courageous to put on my cape and be my own superhero. Today, I believe I can fly high.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to celebrate Searles Elementary with all of you this evening. Thank you.
Okay, wow. Those are great. Next, we will have Hillview Elementary, the Huskies. Let's see, Stella Castillo.
Good evening, President and Mr. Dura, members of the board, and Superintendent Thompson. My name is Stella Castillo, and I'm the principal of Hillview Elementary School. I'd also like to welcome our Hillview families that are cheering us on from home, and also a shout out to my family that are here showing ultimate school pride. We've been busy since the last time we met, and we've had some Husky highlights to share. We've expanded in-person activities for enrichment, intervention, and family events that reflect the diversity of our students. We have a brand new and very popular play structure, a new tetherball area in which I realize I'm still good at it. We have a fresh coat of paint and updated restrooms for our youngest students who are our players. We spent time reflecting on multiple sources of data, including a recent site-wide equity walk, which included all of our teachers and student leaders. I am proud of my staff for always having an open door to one another and our community, whether it's planned or not. This information feeds forward how we structure our staff meetings and minimum days. We continue to strengthen our instructional leadership team and our cost referral system. And we've experienced a few hiccups along the way, such as how to balance all of the curriculum in a day and finding ways to provide more academic interventions for those who are not yet at grade level. Our motto is, there's nothing a Husky can't do. And this holds true when it comes to preparing our kids for goal 1, college and career life readiness. The action initiatives we've been working on are providing personalized learning experiences using standards-based curriculum. We work in service for all of our Hillview Huskies, collectively. Today, I've asked our Hillview community to speak about how they contribute to the success of all of our students. I'd like to introduce one of our para-educators, Mr. Gabriel Chavez.
I'm a para-educator at Hillview Crest, and I'm very grateful to work in the classrooms of the many amazing teachers at Hillview Crest. There's a banner that hangs at the front of our school that reads, "Superheroes work here," and it is very true. The teachers at Hillview Crest are amazing educators, and I learn so much from them every day. They show us paraeducators how to be the real superheroes that they are every day and all day long. And one of the reasons our students are able to do so much is because paraeducators like me help meet the needs and optimize the learning of our students through the decisions that we make to hold student success at the forefront. We do this through building relationships with students, highlighting their assets, encouraging them to advocate for themselves, and fostering their independence. These are the skills that will grow with them beyond Hillview Elementary. Thank you.
To ensure that all of our students have access to the adopted curriculum, so unintentional gaps aren't created, our site focus has been universal design from the main principle of engagement. In other words, we're strengthening our universal instruction to fit the needs of our students with the help of district and site staff members, such as our curriculum leaders. When the word engagement is mentioned, some think that every interaction in the classroom must include bells and whistles. This doesn't have to be the case to recruit our students' interest, to sustain their effort, and to self-regulate. Mrs. Campbell, our first grade teacher and mom to a Hillview Husky, will share her experience with successful strategies. Hello, good evening. My name is Cesar. I teach first grade. I've been at Hillview for 10 years now, so I've been lucky to see UDL engagement in action for the past 10 years, from collaborative conversations to making sure we have a safe and warm classroom and school environment. But being able to focus more on UDL engagement strategies, we've been able to refine it a little bit more. So using our adopted curriculum, Wonders, in first grade, we take the weekly Wonders online assessment. In the beginning, words were okay. And so it was time to collaborate with my grade level partner, figure out how are we going to engage our students. So we created a weekly Wonders assessment tracker. And after every assessment, they color in their score and they're really excited about it. They're engaged, invested, they want to know how they did. So it helps them really self-reflect and figure out how they can do better. So they're monitoring their own progress. They want to know which questions I got right, which questions I got incorrect, why? And so they're really engaged. So adding that really helps get them engaged and invested. And so now I'm like, okay, we're going to take our weekly Wonders assessment. And they're like, and it made the world of a difference. And now they're invested in learning those skills and strategies that Wonders hold them accountable for. I'm now proud to introduce the 3 bravest 5th graders who sit on our site equity council. I would never have done this at their age. I barely want to do this now in front of you. I know to share, so they are going to share successful engagement strategies that they've experienced in their own classroom, as well as the site equity walk that we did. I'd like to bring up Hugo, Eric, and Eileen.
We saw working together and all regular. And kindergarten, they worked on writing, first grade practice vowels, and collaborated in small groups. And 5th grade, students supported each other to practice ELD development. Focus on our school site is collaborative conversations of working in partnerships. We do this so we can share ideas and learn from each other. We can also support our friends when they make mistakes. When we work together, it's easier to share your answer because you feel more confident in your thinking. It's important to hear a variety of perspectives to keep attention to thinking of those input. Sharing ideas can also help you build knowledge and knowledge of other people's interests. Hearing written activities in our classroom help everyone feel like they belong.
After our school site walkthrough, one of our 5th graders, who is also an equity team member, Raul, mentioned that it seems that each kid is getting what they need. We said, that's what equity means. Our work in Goal 1 integrates with Goal 2, equity, access, and achievement, and Goal 4, community outreach, engagement, and advocacy. Ms. Calaga Mendoza is our SSC chair and the parent of 2 students and 1 up and coming from Cadango. And our Equity, Access, and Achievement COSA, Ms. Carter, will share their efforts to make sure there's nothing a hustle can't do. Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa Calaga Mendoza, and I'm a parent at Hillview. I'm grateful to be a part of this community and share to you all how collaborative Stella and the staff has been at Hillview. I joined the board because I really care about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really care to know what my kids are learning at school, how I can advocate for curriculum, engagement, especially coming back from COVID. And so the board really listens to our feedback, and some of the things highlighted up here are a result of those conversations at that school site council meeting that we have
one of the ideas that we shared was how do we incorporate more representation and make sure we're highlighting heritage moments that represent all of our students at the school, because it can't always fit in the regular curriculum. And so we said, well, let's engage the parents and put a flyer to go home so that they can also be learning about these different cultures and things that maybe we can't fit in the day-to-day curriculum, but it will give hands-on learning opportunities for the kids and the parents to learn something or watch something together or read a book, just to continue that learning and growing together. And also, back in December, when we had like a winter festival at school, they did a really good job of incorporating different cultures and how different cultures celebrate outside of the typical like winter or Christmas. So that was really beautiful to see, and all the stations that the kids got to go to and learn. So yeah, grateful that they are really putting in the work.
Hi, so as part of the Equity, Access, and Achievement TOSA, my role kind of dovetailed between goal 2 and goal 4. So goal 2 action initiatives that you've heard about are the UPL framework strategies for engagement. And these strategies are equity. They make sure that every student is getting what they need. Other equity strategies that we have are within the scope of academic and behavioral interventions, recognizing that not all children learn at the same time in the same way, and so providing them with the support that they need for their unique abilities. My role includes data tracking, the community engagement that Narissa just spoke about, wellness center offerings that tie into the monthly resolution, home letters showcasing social emotional learning skills that are being taught in the classroom. Again, all with the goal of bringing the parents in to what we do every day in the classroom. Thank
you. So this is where we were, and you've heard about where we currently are at. Where we are going is to continue to collaborate with one another to strengthen our universal instruction, partner with Seneca to understand and respond to challenging behaviors based on our own experience, and reflect on best practices. It is true, there's nothing a Husky can't do, but as you heard tonight, it cannot be done without you and those behind us and those sitting at home. Let's complete our celebration with the Hillview Press song from our 4th and 5th grade choir, led by our music specialist, Ms. Rivera. So thank you for providing this opportunity for me to share our school with you. We hope you had a howling good time.
Thank you. Okay, next, Alvarado Elementary School. Go for Indiana.
Good evening, President Nishihara, members of the board, and Superintendent Thompson. My name is Kenyatta Alvarado, and I'm the principal of Alvarado Elementary. You're gonna forgive my voice, it's just now coming back. Few things to highlight. We really took a look at our equity lens, and with my being first year principal at Alvarado, with the perspective and fresh lens, I was delighted to join a staff with so much to celebrate. As we continue to grow our equity lens, we use our student survey to hear from our scholars. Equity means supporting all staff, meetings not only with certificated staff, but also with classified, also helps us to hear their needs and how to support them along with our students and along with our students have been taking place. An area of growth that we are looking at is encouraging our families and our parents to come out and to participate. Staff is also working hard to listen to make sure our students are growing both academically and socially. We are focusing on making sure our students have a sense of belonging and connectedness with families and our community. Students are learning leadership skills by supporting each other throughout the day. Earlier this year, we started reading intervention and now have expanded to math to support math and homework support. We are continuing to look for ways to provide students with social emotional support, along with searching for ways and to engage our parents, as I said earlier, in academic events. We are also reflecting on how to implement and plan various interventions for our students, focusing on that continued variety of engagement for our students. Tonight, I'll highlight equity goal 2, equity, access, and achievement. Our staff has taken the time to review our student survey as a whole staff and our site equity team. This is where our work really began. Survey went out last year, and so we are listening to our students and how do we support them and what are they telling us that they need. Our fifth grade students expressed a need for more social emotional support at school through their survey responses. Throughout this year, we took to the heart and looked at ways of how to focus our equity walks around the classroom environment and belonging. One of our walks consisted of our entire instructional leadership team and our equity team. This was made possible with the support of our equity, access, and achievement teacher on special assignment. From those walks, teachers had the opportunity to step outside of their own classrooms and see their colleagues' environments, to capture what has already been set up to create a belonging environment and established to support students, what changes and modifications might be made to continue growing in the area of connectedness and belonging, and possibly starting point for other classroom teachers that are now developing their equity lens, access, and achievement for all students. With the understanding that students need to feel a sense of belonging and connectedness to access curriculum and succeed academically, our school is focused on strengthening our classroom physical environment. What does that feel like for our students? to acknowledge and connect all students and staff of our diverse backgrounds. Our goal is that by the spring, all classrooms will be observed during an equity walk with the EPOC equity tool, classroom physical environment, acknowledging and connectedness. And next steps will be planned accordingly. We will take notes on our strengths, areas of our growth in our equity and leadership teams, share our findings with staff to strengthen our classroom environment for all of our students. So what do our students have to say, how they feel connected to Alvarado? Let's take a look.
Here I have like a lot of friends. Like every single one of my cousins come to the school. So I can connect that way. What do you do inside of class? And now is this balance possible? It's been amazing. Yeah. Nice here. The learning and it's a nice environment too. So much people love that. And then like another person. Life now because of this school. So I feel like this school is part of my home.
You like being a part of AES? You like being a part of AES?
So with that, thank you, and our Wildcats are thanking you as well.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to open up the comments to the board. Anybody who'd like to say anything? Who'd like to go first? Okay. Trustee Khan.
So the previous celebration school, that was my first one, so going into it, I was really like blown away by all the presentations. And the same happened today. I just love hearing about like each of the sites and from the students and the staff.
So just going into like each of the schools for PLA and Dakota School, I love how they offer like the students individualized attention and learning plans. And engagement is also a big part of high school, so I really love that they still have those engagement opportunities like the Halloween carnival and the planting party, especially if I get the parent out of it. So thank you. I also love the rock presentation from CTMS and just like hearing that the students love learning science, especially since science is one of my favorite subjects. And in my current like honors physio class, we're dissecting a cat, so really getting that hands-on experience. I love the initiative at IVCMS. I went to IVC and I visited it recently as part of my English for Future teachers field trip. So I just like love hearing how they're addressing mental health and seeing the positive environment that is being fostered there. For Searles, I love the presentation. The video was great, and the singing and the poems were absolutely adorable. I love the engagement and equity at Hillview Press and having the first row seats to their amazing choir performance. For AES, I love the focus on equity and connection, especially the video and how genuine it was and how it really encompassed the energy of the students. So thank you for all your hard work from the staff and the students, and thank you to everyone who came out today.
Okay, I guess we'll go in order. Everything you said was very well put. So from the total school and the PLA, I really always actually ran into a parent of a student there out in the community, and she had all these wonderful things to say about how her daughter is getting individualized attention and doing school her way. And I'm very happy that our district has this and that it's such a strong program and that we had it even before COVID. And it really is a draw to our district that we have such individualized and varied ways of learning, and to make sure students are successful. This will go into my second language, which has exploded in our front yard. So I'll come to any succulent writing. I can even bring like leaves to start new succulents that you don't have, because we have a lot. Okay, and then Cesar Chavez Middle School, I really like the focus on science. I loved science, especially for the experiments. So I hear the students talking about all the lab experiments, and knowing that other generations and enjoying Bill Nye, the science guy, really made my heart happy. Because I really like Bill Nye, the science guy, still do. At Mount Veracruz Middle School, I really loved hearing about your full wellness day and the focus on wellness and taking it into the classroom. I think that was really cool and unique. I think cutting edge. And then for Searles, I loved the superpower theme. And of course, the Over the Rainbow and performance and the poems, those very great students that came up and spoke in front of us. I know it's not easy. And then for HBC, there's nothing else you can't do. I love that. And the Weekly Wonders assessment, like I'm definitely would be motivated by that a lot, because you can see your progress. And I think that that's a really good way to engage the students. I really enjoyed the Husky song, very upbeat, loved it. Alvarado Elementary School, I really liked the sense of belonging. I loved hearing that students that said, if someone's alone and no one's playing with them, and then someone comes and asks them to play, like that's exactly one of the best ways that we can have a sense of community and belonging with each other. And the students really looked genuinely super happy to be there. It was just really infectious, and I loved hearing about the reading and math interventions as well, because those are also very important. So just thank you all for, especially those of you who are staying here till the end, parents, teachers, staff, and everyone for coming out and allowing us to see this work that you're doing with our students. Thank you so much.
Okay, Trustee Ribbon.
Thank you.
Let us see all those presentations. Thank you, everyone. So I'd like to start with Dakota School of Science. Good to see there's 20% increase in enrollment. Very nice, and self-paced and tailored to every student's needs. Much needed. So thank you so much for doing that. And really enjoyed meeting the children and making good practice. I still have it at home. Thank you. And it's such a pleasure seeing Raziel. Raziel has been with my daughter since they were kindergarten, and they were in IBC together too. So thank you. And the CCMS, I love the children enthusiasm about the lab and the experiments. And it's awesome to see the time investment done at your school to make time so much fun. And IBC, and that's always nice to have. So, and the approach, I like the approach that Ms. Dillon and the tools that she takes to equip the teachers, from the observation, for to have the teachers, instead of putting the students out, she has the teachers help the students. And the wellness center that you have, and the fun of the children have, and they love to sit over there. I wish that was there when my kids were there, because they used to find refuge in the library. But now they got this amazing option. Thank you. And Searles, first of all, congratulations, Ms. Barrage, on your appointment as Director K-12 instructor. And it's a beautiful performance that your student did, and love the video. The prayer team was amazing. Thank you. And Hillview Crest, I guess it is good to see all the work that is being done on equity, achievement, and inclusion. And the kids' performance is really nice. Thank you. And AES, so you, Hamza's maths teacher. The equity and belonging, when it's done at the school, definitely would make kids want to come to school and love the involvement with the kids and the teachers are there involved with the kids, dancing and all. That really, I'm sure, makes it much more fun for the students. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Gonzalez.
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff that was already said, so I'll be a little more brief. Dakota School of Independence, Principal Chavez, thank you for being the first one. I know that was the hardest. So, yeah. I just really appreciate though, the dead level honesty. These are our challenges. You dedicated a slide that I don't. Others have mentioned growth. We have some growth in these areas, but to disclose that, here's what we need to work on. It is very important. And a lot of people don't realize, the reason why choosing that, safety issue. Logan's too big, and just to have that one-on-one, there might be bullying going on. That all is true. So. Well done there. Keep up the good work. CCMS, my alma mater, all I had to do was just be up there and represent our school. And I have my bias and say, yes, the best presentation up there. But in real talk, though, kudos to the science department, a fellow classmate, science teacher, Mr. Ibarra, played soccer there at CCMS with him. Reality is, some of our students are going to come back and teach at our school is going to go back. And that's just a sign of us doing great work. They want to come back to their community and teach or become a principal or whatever the case may be. IBC, of course I have my biases with CCMS, but out of all the presentations here, your presentation did not have anything cutesy or show. It's you touched the topic of wellness, SEL, that is very important. That is taken for granted. And it just like some schools are just checking out. I'm not saying that they are in New Haven, but other schools around California or United States. And you showcased it very well. You did a really great job. The topics were all important. I was very impressed with that. The check-ins, and I related that so much as a teacher, the students that just want to get out of class and, I like how you're, no, this is just a check-in. You're not gonna stay here all day. Eventually you need to go back, so I like that, so students are not taking advantage or just missing so much instructional time, but this is just so important. If they're not well, the learning is not gonna happen. So thank you. Next one, Searles, Principal Bakash. Again, another alma mater. All you gotta do is just be up there and, that's the best one, Searles. So, and I also seen a fellow classmate I was in the audience there, got me reminiscing about Searles, and she's not here right now, but she was here earlier. So anyways, great job, of course, very cute kids. I like the UDL / MTSS, very streamlined, simplified. I'm getting evaluated next year. Maybe I might use that for my principal show. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the plan for barriers and how to assess students. So great job, great work at Searles. Hillview Crest, Principal Castillo. I really appreciate how you got a paraprofessional up there first. Gabriel's up there. You had a first grade teacher. Lisa is a parent. You had another parent, Ms. Mendoza. Some of those parts of our staff we don't incorporate or showcase, just usually the leadership or somebody on the leadership team there. So thank you for taking all parts of it takes a village to raise a child, and so you bringing in everybody, and then even the 3 5th graders on leadership and incorporating them. So I really appreciate it. And I really love your mantra or motto. There's nothing that a Husky can't do. I think I might adopt that for myself. And then last but not least, Alvarado Elementary, Wildcats Principal Alvarado. So thank you for the work you do there. Last, you had to go last. You had to sit here. You had to sit there through all of them. So great video. I do have family in-laws that go to that school, and even in the community, I hear nothing but good things there. I think that was very true with the students' response. Like my mom went there, all my cousins went here. There's that connection, and I really do feel that the students appreciate the teachers and like being Wildcats and like you. So great job, and that concludes my notes.
All right, Trustee Kumar, Vice President Kumar.
Thank you. So I'm fairly new to the board, but I think it's safe to say that the celebration of schools is going to be my favorite meeting. It's something I'm going to look forward to. Everything else is in comparison. Right? Dakota School of Independent Study, Principal Chavez, thank you for this. This is really sweet. It was very impressive that the grad rate has gone up by 20%. That's huge, I think. So a lot of credit goes to the staff and teachers. I love the individualized approach to teaching, like the others mentioned. I loved hearing from your student, Liliana, was it? It was really nice hearing from Liliana and the parent. I love the recipe exchange idea. So there's great stuff going on there. CCMS, Mr. Camacho, I am a science teacher, so I was very biased, I will admit. It was so cool to see everything that your school is doing. I saw diffraction grading and I saw diffraction classes. What middle school has that? I am so proud that we're doing this. It's amazing, really, really good work. Shout out to your science teachers. I especially loved what would you look like as a scientist. I thought that activity was really cool. And if there's ever an opportunity to lead a physics lab, I would love to. It's pretty good a word. IBC, oh my gosh, my kids went to IBC, so I'm a little bit of bias there, sort of like Trustee Rodriguez. I loved in the successes you shared that The culturally relevant monthly conversations that you have, I think that's amazing. It really brings the students together. I love the shrinking room self-awareness activity. I was looking at it and they had a little clip. That was really cool. And I'd love to hear how it went at some point. That would be cool. The idea for Wellness Day, I think, is great. I was there on Friday for one, and I know Dr. Thompson and I popped into one of the classrooms and we actually saw it in action. It was amazing. It was really cool. All the students were so engaged that for middle schoolers, that was impressive. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Ms. Dillon for all the work that she's been doing with SEL. So thank you. And of course, I love hearing from students about our Wellness Center. So that was cool. Searles, Principal Bakash, congratulations. I love watching your dolphins in action video. That was really cool. And of course, performance was so nice. I love the t-shirts. And what else do we have? Hillview Crest, Principal Castillo, go Huskies. I wanted to become a Husky fan after that. It was so cool. I loved that you addressed the hiccups that you faced. I think that was really nice. I love that you brought in people from the community, so it was really nice to see them here and hear firsthand what they had to say. I loved the strategies and that they're using to address issues with equity. And I loved hearing it from your fifth graders. That was really nice. The collaborative conversations that they shared, I think that is such a powerful tool. That was really nice. AES, last but not least, thank you, Principal Alvarado. I love the focus on strengthening your classroom physical environment to acknowledge diversity. I think that makes everyone feel connected and like they belong. So that was really cool. I love the video, of course, and I love hearing from the students and how they feel connected to the school. That was really nice. Thank you.
Okay. Did you want to say anything?
I'd just like to say a brief thank you, and that's it, especially to our students, our parents, and our staff. If they're time to come here, I think they're only a couple people left, but it really makes the night special. And our principals, I know this is a lot of work, and I know it's a late night, but it really, really means a lot to us. And I agree with Vice President Kumar. I think this is my favorite board meeting, the Celebrating Schools one. So thank you. Great job. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I won't repeat a lot of the things that my colleagues have already mentioned, but I do want to say some overarching comments. Thanks to everybody who prepared presentations today, to all the site administrators, and also to the teachers who were here, and also the students who performed. It really, I've seen a lot of these throughout the years being on the board, and I can see that they're getting sharper and they're getting a lot more aligned to district priorities. And one of the reasons why this is such an important meeting, is that this is actually where the board sees all of the work that it does throughout the year. This is where everything comes to fruition. It's the celebrating schools and also the graduations at the end of the year. You start to see the sum total of all the things that we have together as a system do. We're all parts of that same system, and it's very, very important. All of the hard work that you all do really pays off, and you can see it. The one thing that we will, that we've seen throughout the years is one of the things that we've seen improve throughout the years is the fact that all of the presentations line up to the strategic plan. So there's a sense of coherence as to why we're doing things in a very intentional way. Now, in all of the strengths and highlights and the hiccups and challenges, what I challenge all of us to do is to think about how we take everything in those right columns and focus to put them into the next strategic plan, which your superintendent will be walking you through over the summer. So think about how you would take those things and address them directly through the plan. Because as you see, the plan does actually keep everything together. So so that was just kind of the overarching comment. But everything that the rest of the board said, ditto on that. And I think for everybody, I thank everybody for the hard work. All right. Thank you all, and seeing no further business, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.